Have you ever noticed how some relationships start strong but begin to fall apart the moment things get serious? In Jamaica, love is everywhere, in the music, in the culture, in the way people connect. But at the same time, there's a growing conversation, especially among women, about commitment. Why does it feel like some Jamaican men pull away just when things are getting real? Is it fear? Is it culture? Or is it something deeper that most people don't fully understand? In this documentary, we're going to look beyond the surface and explore what really shapes commitment in Jamaican relationships. To understand this, we have to go back to how many Jamaican men are raised. From a young age, boys are often taught to be strong, not just physically, but emotionally. They are told to handle pressure, to solve problems, to survive. But rarely are they taught how to express vulnerability. In many homes, emotional conversations don't happen often. Fathers may not always be present, and even when they are, they may not show affection in a way that teaches emotional openness. So what happens? A young boy grows into a man who knows how to provide, but not always how to communicate. He knows how to protect, but not always how to stay emotionally connected. As one man once said quietly,
I know how to deal with life, but I never really learn how to deal with love.
and that becomes important later on. Now let's look at what happens when relationships begin. At the start, things are easy. There's excitement, there's attraction, there's energy. But commitment is different. Commitment requires consistency. It requires emotional honesty. And most importantly, it requires trust. For many Jamaican men, trust is complicated. Some have seen relationships fail around them. Some have experienced heartbreak early, and others have learned that getting too close to someone can lead to pain. So instead of fully opening up, they hold back. Not completely distant, but not fully present either. Close enough to feel something, but far enough to protect themselves. And from the outside, it looks like a lack of commitment, but inside, it often feels like self-protection. Another factor is independence. In Jamaican culture, independence is a strong part of identity. Being able to move freely, make your own decisions, handle your own life. For some men, commitment can feel like losing that freedom, even when that's not the reality. So when a relationship starts to require compromise, emotional responsibility, or accountability, it can feel overwhelming. Not because they don't care, but because they're not used to navigating that level of emotional responsibility. As some would say,
I'm not trying to lose myself in a nobody.
and that mindset can create distance. There's also the pressure of expectations. Today, many Jamaican women are more independent than ever. They have careers, they have standards, they know what they want. And that's a good thing. But it also means relationships require more effort, more communication, and more emotional maturity. For men who are still figuring themselves out, that pressure can feel like too much. So instead of stepping forward, they step back. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This isn't just happening in Jamaica. When we look at Jamaican men living in the United States, the United Kingdom, or Canada, we see similar patterns. The environment may change, new jobs, new lifestyles, new opportunities, but the emotional foundation they grew up with doesn't disappear overnight. A man raised in Jamaica may carry those same beliefs into relationships abroad. And when he dates someone from a different culture, those differences become even more visible. Different expectations, different communication styles, different ideas of commitment. And without understanding, that can lead to confusion on both sides. So what does all of this really mean? It means that what looks like fear of commitment is often something deeper. It's not always about not wanting love. Sometimes it's about not knowing how to handle it when it becomes real, not knowing how to stay consistent, not knowing how to be vulnerable, not knowing how to trust fully. And those are things that can be learned, but only with awareness, only when conversations become honest, only when both men and women start trying to understand each other instead of just reacting to each other. So maybe the question isn't just, Why are Jamaican men afraid of commitment? Maybe the real question is, what has shaped the way they see love in the first place? If this documentary gave you a new perspective, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see it. And in the comments, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is a cultural issue or something that happens everywhere? Because sometimes understanding people a little better changes everything.